But yeah.
Oh, okay, he posted a
Hang on, I'll get it. That didn't work. I'll get
oh
the links. Just a sec.
But who is the neuroscientist here? Because that's some actually like great
I
yeah,
minds
I
will.
thinking.
study neuroscience.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know much about it. Like that's all on you, bro. Like
It's awesome. It's crazy.
I there's a difference between learning it and looking it up. You know what I have a problem with AI nowadays? Like I don't want my surgeon to learn through school with AI because you know what I mean? Like you know that whole meme is
You got
like
to
we're
internalize it. Yeah.
exactly because if AI is
Yeah.
telling you it, you're not actually learning it, you're just
You're just
regurgitating
following
it.
orders. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, yep. So I feel like this is gonna be a detriment in the future where people need their surgery, but the people doing it, they don't actually know it because they just followed AI, so they fuck you over. I'm
God,
not saying that's
I
you.
hope
I'm not saying
not.
that's you, but
I
I'm
hope
not saying
not.
that's you, but
No,
yeah.
I'm not a medical professional. I'm just like a brain scientist.
E- Oh yeah, but even then, like you can learn it off the books for sure. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Got you, brother. Got
You can jump in if you want to, Fizzy.
Yeah, if you've seen the film Idiocracy, you'll understand what happens when people rely too much on technology and not on actual learning.
They become slaves. Yeah, dude. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Well, not slaves, but they become like what's the word like lackeys or like patsies of like an intellectual idea where they cannot like absolutely grasp. It's a very sad. No, fuck AI, dude. We need each to their own. Obviously, we can't regulate it, but if someone
A
truly
lot
wants to
of
learn
it is,
something, and
yeah,
yeah,
a lot of it is whack. I agree. Let's see here. I was able to pull up the thing you tried to reference here.
Okay, yeah, that's one, and I can't seem to get the links, so I'll just point
So this is
towards the
the
reference. I'm
first
gonna get
one.
no, that's a refutation to the peer review, so I'm gonna get the two. That should be the last one, but it's helpful to review that as well. I have the actual two papers coming. Just a sec.
Oh, okay,
so
sick.
so I came in here late. What are we refuting? Because I came here later, so I'm not.
Well, yeah. So let's see. Will's Way Studios is claiming that there is some scientific evidence that the SARS-CoV-2 virus that caused COVID
Yeah,
is a bioweapon.
gotcha.
It
Okay,
was like designed as a weapon. So we're going to go over the
and you're
papers and see if that's the case.
so you're going over the people who like what's the word? Okay, they
Yeah,
had
well, we
access.
will look at the claims and critically assess them and see if they actually provide evidence to support the claim and that kind of thing. Just
Well, no, I'm
classic
saying
stuff.
like right, but I'm saying like the people who refuted it had access to the virus themselves, right? Of course, and
Oh
they
yeah, yeah,
analyzed
yeah,
it to
yeah.
so
I
they would
mean,
see
samples of the virus are all over the world. Yeah.
right, but they would have like specific. Well, no, I guess since I'm not a virologist, like there would be, I guess, because I'm more into philosophy, so I guess I can kind of like extrapolate what I'm trying to say. So like, so they would have
Yeah.
markers based on an organic transmutation versus like a manufactured one, or like
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there would be because there are commonly used genetic motifs in genetic engineering research.
but wouldn't that
That
but
that
okay, guys,
would
sorry.
be if the virus was lab made. Exactly, that's what you would see. You would see like these motifs
But
that are, yeah.
but I do see a vulnerability in this intellectual report, like because technically we don't know all the viruses in the world. So how can we extrapolate that if we don't have all the data samples of all the viruses in the world to make that conclusion? I am
We
curious on
don't.
that. Or I
Well,
guess we don't need it if you
no,
say
you
so.
don't need to have all the viruses in the world. 'Cause that's clearly because if that's the case, then we just have to say we know literally nothing about virology. But that seems wrong. Um,
Is
well,
that
you just
because
need to
those?
have
Okay,
you
yeah,
need to just have samples of like if you have other samples and there is extreme genetic similarity between your unknown sample and the sample that you've characterized,
yeah,
then you can know with high confidence like the identity of the virus, or at least like where it sits on the lineage.
and yeah, and I don't know. I'm basically like asking because I don't know much about this. So they're taking the virus itself and try to use it based on similarities of it to see that marker because we obviously won't go
Well,
to that
no, no,
unknown.
no. This is
Or
so.
no.
I think this is addressing the earlier question about like how do we know like its identity, which is I thought which what you were asking. But to know
Yeah.
if it's bioengineered, you would be more specific and you would look at certain spots in the genome for certain patterns that are like that are indicative of known bioengineering techniques or genetic engineering techniques.
Oh, okay. So it's literally okay. Okay, I got you now. So earlier I was
Yeah.
thinking that. Gotcha. Okay. So that completely answers the question. Because earlier I was thinking like maybe it could be some unknown whatever, but those unknowns themselves they would not have those same markers of bioengineering.
I mean, yeah, you could try to argue that there's a section in the genetic sequence that
Right.
is an unknown like motif, but then you'd have to show that there's this like secret group of genetic engineers who like know this one motif that everyone else doesn't know, especially in the hyper connected world where scientists like regularly collaborate across the world. It's just like good luck proving that.
Can I pop in with something
Well,
I looked up
yeah.
real quick? So
yeah.
apparently she claimed that the backbone were based off that coronaviruses ZC45 and ZXC21, but those are only 89% identical to COVID versus the RT. I don't have the name of it. The one that there's a back coronavirus that matched it at 96% from 2013. So the virus he claims it's based on is less relevant or less similar to an older one that matches it more closely. That kind of just seemed to
Dude.
undermine the idea that it was used.
Dude,
Yeah, that's
Dude,
a
I'm like-
flaw.
I don't even know what he's saying. Y'all gotta speak English. This is all TTCC45. Like y'all gotta speak English, bro.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I understand it's a no. I understand it's a quantitative label, and the only way I can know it is if I go into literature of it. But
Yeah.
go ahead. Though. It's all good.
Okay, so
Let's not have a 5-hour session here.
sorry, I'll track. And this is basically you can think of it like this: the blueprint of the back coronavirus that she says they used was 89% similar to COVID, but we have a 96% match from a back coronavirus in 2013. So why would the one that they used for COVID be less similar to a naturally occurring one? That doesn't really make sense.
I gotta go to the lab. Let me get my lab coat. I'll go there and ask him real quick. I'll be back. No, but like, you know what? The thing I think about like with knowledge and stuff, like, I feel like the only way you could obviously do it, but I think the passion for it really like grounds it, right? Like some people can obviously have the quantitative and intellectual capacity measures to analyze something, but not analyzing something else, not because they're incapable to, but because they're unwilling to. Do you guys understand? Like, for example, that's why we have like for example, like neurosurgeons, right? They're completely within that complexity. But if you were to ask them about finance, which has complexities within itself, you're not going to say, "Oh, you don't have the capabilities of knowing it." No, I would argue they don't have a passion for it. That's why they chose what's it called? Dude, I'm drunk enough, so I'm brain farting. It starts with an N. I literally just said it. What the fuck am I doing?
Neuroscientist.
Neuropathy or neuroscience. Yeah,
Neurosurgeon, yeah.
neurosurgeon. Yeah,
He's like a nice.
but obviously we can. Yeah, so we can be a jack of all trades, but I guess I mean, I guess yeah, we could be a jack of all trades, but philosophically, I guess the heart only goes to one part. And well, do you guys believe that like if you guys were truly participating in like intellectual jack of all trades type of archetype of venture, do you guys still believe that even within that, you guys still innately would go to one specific thing, even though you still pertain to all?
Probably, yeah.
Well, for me, that's kind
Yeah.
of my curse. I have so many things I love doing that I just it's hard to focus on my time and energy. Not to sound like negative or not, but like I'm super
no.
talented guy. But I am
Yeah.
super talented. So
Like for me, it would be philosophy, which does encompass the whatever, but obviously when it comes to like detailed like studies, you really gotta like study it to like know what you're actually talking about. Like because obviously philosophy can only take you so far when it comes to like virology. Sure, you can like say, oh, why does viruses happen to us? Why ought this happen, this and that, which are good questions. But like when you actually want to cure someone, you're not gonna imagine your doctor like coming up to you and say, well, you have cancer, and then you're like, well, doctor, what's my solution? He's like, well, why do you have it? What the fuck is this? And you're like, what the? He like gets all philosophical.
Yeah, not helpful.
Like the doctor of philosophy comes to you trying to cure cancer. He's just gonna he will be correct in like saying, you know, you ought not have this, you shouldn't have this, this is evil for this to happen to you. But at the same time, the cancer's still there. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean? There was a meme on this. I forgot. I think it was like an animation. Someone had a heart attack, and then the woman. It's like a mematic animation, and the girl's like, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And then the guy stands up. He's like, "I'm a doctor of philosophy," and they all just fucking face palm. He's like, "He's fucking cooked, bro. He's not getting up from the heart attack."
Okay, so I finally
But yeah.
found like the text of the first paper, I think. The one that says that SARS-CoV-2 is an unrestricted bioweapon, a truth revealed through uncovering a large scale. Is that the first one?
Yes, you're correct on that. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm guessing you're asking that to Supreme or Will. I think it was Will.
Yeah, to Will, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so Will's saying it is a bioweapon? You're saying it's not, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha,
exactly.
okay. But Supreme, what about you? Supreme, what are you saying?
Okay, so I would make 2 points. One, if this was a bioweapon, why was SARS-CoV-2 at a lower lethality compared to SARS-CoV-1? SARS-CoV-1 had a lethality rate of 10%. COVID-19 had a lethality rate of 2%. Why would they make it less lethal? And if it is based on this backbone, why is a naturally occurring coronavirus closer than the one matching in the lab? Like
Well, that's easy. That's easy to answer, bro. Because of plausible deniability. Easy. No, I'm just joking. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't
You got me.
researched. Yeah, if I researched it, I don't know what my answer would be, but whatever it was stupid. Either God created it, or either the universe created it, or man created it. Fuck that shit. Don't do it again. Stop that. That's all I gotta say. But in all seriousness, though, like, I mean, it's still around today, right? But it's like, it seems like it's dissipating. So the fact that I guess I can use my own philosophy to like extrapolate why it's doing that. So it's dissipating. Therefore, I believe it may be a bioweapon because an organic, naturally occurring virus would not dissipate at such levels.
That's just not true, though.
Like yeah, but this is where you would.
There are so many more infectious.
But it makes sense, though. You see what I mean? You see why I would think that, like, intently, if something wasn't manufactured, that it would dumb down because it's not following the continuum of nature, which would always win out nurture. But go ahead, yeah. What would you say to it?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just reading through this paper, and they make some pretty interesting claims. Like going back to the ZC45 stuff. So these are other coronaviruses found in bats.
Well, you're starting to speak Japanese to me now.
It's just a couple of letters and numbers. ZC45, ZXC21.
I'm being cheeky.
So this paper is claiming that there were colleagues, Dr. Yang Zheng Zhang, they are claiming that they published a paper which showed that SARS-CoV-2 is actually closest to this ZC45 and ZXC. And then immediately after that paper was published, the laboratory was shut down by the government. So now, like, I want to see if that's actually the case. So I need to look at the citations. Let's see. It's like citation.
Dude, I'm just thinking about Resident. I'm just thinking about Resident Evil right now, dude. Anyone else? Like, we got the Resident Evil vibes straight up.
I haven't played that game in a while.
Dude, that anthology is so good. Holy shit. The recent one was Requiem. Was my favorite, but it was nice. It had a new touch to it. But my favorite, I think, would be Village.
Closed.
What'd you say, Supreme?
It never closed. Some places like the U.S. cut funding, but it never closed.
Oh, you're talking about the political actions to COVID. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, we can all agree, regardless of where the origin of it was, which I'm unclear. Wherever it came from, like we can all agree it was bullshit. Like whoever
I
made
mean,
it,
yeah, it was fucking
whether that
dumb.
whether that be nature, fuck nature then.
Well, even
Yeah.
if it was from nature, it would still largely be our fault because of the wet markets and it just like
Oh yeah, it's
you
it's like
know, just like our
yeah, it's like
our mass
yeah.
oppression of animals and having them live in these squalid conditions, which are perfect for viruses
But
to
but but I
mutate and shit.
but I but I do have a question on that though. That's like the same like if we are the cultivators of viruses. Hold on, that's like saying like if we take birds and take them like you know how birds evolved based on if they live on an island, whatever affinity affects them, they over time grow from it to protect them. Are you saying that like whatever we do is like I mean I guess this is true. I've heard like we're basically like strengthening viruses, right? Based on what we
Yeah.
do. You're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And bacteria, especially bacteria in like healthcare settings
Yeah.
with excessive antibiotics use and whatnot.
So
Right, but I mean, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, so I guess Will said his mic cut off and he's
Oh
gonna try to
fuck.
come back in.
Okay.
See, they're censoring him. They don't want to talk about COVID.
Oh,
But
Wait, what happened? Hold on,
Will
what happened?
Will's mic went out. But we got Chris now. I kind of want to let him real quick and get his thoughts.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, brother.
Yo.
I had to have a smart ass moment. The first thing I did was posted up a GIF of a pangolin.
God
because
bless you
that's
for that.
Yeah, it's just some funny shit. I have quit following that stream a few years ago, just because it was primarily aggravating. Everyone was arguing with everyone about it, and I was done with the argument. But my understanding is that it was, in fact, lab made, and there was a consensus on that. And then I've heard it go as far as saying there was an actual. So when they manufacture virus in lab, it gets I want to say like a serial number stamp or something akin to that, but some kind of identifier that says this is a mechanical, that this is something that's been manufactured. And
like the RNA,
Yeah.
right? RNA code.
on the chain, right? And so there's like a.
How do we know that
strand.
RNA? How do we know that RNA code is not exclusive? Like for example, like how do we know that RNA code is not organic? How do we know it's not? Like we need all the data samples. That's why I said earlier. But I guess
Well,
since I'm like,
right. I'm just, all I'm saying is that's pretty much the last I had heard of that. And it didn't surprise me any. And there's enough. How do you say when there's smoke, there's fire? There's enough burning information that's gone around that's indicated that it did, in fact, come out of a lab.
Wait, so would you say that the strongest piece of evidence is that supposedly there's this genetic sequence in the virus which is indicative of engineering or like artificial manipulation?
Right. It's like whenever they do this, now this is something that's actually a fact. It's not a conspiracy or anything like that. Any manufactured virus gets a very distinct stamp, so it can be tracked as far as what manufacturing facility it came out of. It's an identifier. And I don't understand exactly how that's done or anything. I'm pretty sure it is in the RNA or DNA coding, but it's a definitive stamp. It's something that they can look right at within minutes and go, okay, there's a stamp. This was manufactured. And they're saying at this point, yeah, it has that. And that was a few years back.
Wait, who said that though?
That's a few years back. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it was Fort Dix that reported it, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
But it was one of the military facilities. And so here's the thing. any information that we get put up publicly anymore goes under immediate worldwide scrutiny.
Yeah.
Now, I use the word scrutiny loosely here, but basically everything gets thrown out because this fat people works for this faction of people who's paid by this faction of people. And it's a round robin of your shit's a lie because you believe this. And I removed myself from that argument. It's like, I'm tired of fucking with you people. I'm tired of trying to find information that's personally useful that way.
100%. 100%. Hey, but Chris, I do have a question for you. This is not pertaining to your argument, by the way. Absolutely not. I just do have it's a personal question.
Sure.
Have you ever had the COVID virus infect you?
That's an interesting question. Actually, no. I did.
Really?
Yeah, I have zero. Both my mother and I both had zero infection artifact. We tested, at least 5 or 6 different times. My mom was big on it because she was terrified, so I went along with her.
You guys never felt sick. You guys never felt off. Someone was off, like nothing at all.
That's really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to back this up a bit. Is that okay?
No, I don't believe you, but some people do have different symptoms, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying that. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
No.
wait. Can we? This seems sort of off topic because I want to respond to the claims about
It was off
genetic
topic. Yeah, my
sequences.
bad, yeah.
But maybe at a later point. But
Agreed.
So my contention is that there actually isn't really any clear signature in the genetic sequence of COVID that would indicate any sort of bioengineering endeavor on it. So
Okay,
unless
what about a jumping species? But what about a jumping species?
Viruses do that all the time. It's very common for a virus to jump between species. Like a lot of outbreaks in history have been caused by that thing happening. Even previous coronavirus. Yeah.
Right.
So
well,
I just wanna jump-
animal. That's going animal to people. I'm talking about people to animal. Do you remember the outbreak at the New York City Zoo?
No.
Yeah, because that got quashed within 3 days off the news. But yeah, there were animals at the zoo. I know, right? That was good. I like that. Do that some more. That was fun.
I think Supreme wanted to say
I want to
something.
hear them all go.
Yeah, I want to make a point real quick, guys. So, Chris, I have a question for you. Do you know why they had a lab in Wuhan?
Do I know why?
Yeah, do you know why they're doing research on bat coronaviruses?
I don't. I personally do not know why.
Okay.
The theory
So
the speculation.
Okay, well, I can tell
was-
you why. This is a fact. You can look it up. In 2003, there was a COVID outbreak. Well, sorry, it was SARS virus outbreak. And it was traced to a wet market in the Guangdong province where there's something called a civet. It's like a cat. Basically, they found out it was infected by a horseshoe bat. And so there's like a pattern repeating itself. The horseshoe bat infected an animal at a wet market, and the same thing is happening. My contention is basically the same thing is happening again with COVID-19. And in between COVID-19 and SARS-CoV-1, there was the Middle Eastern respiratory virus, which is a type of beta coronavirus. We found out that actually transferred from a bat to a camel. So we have 2 confirmed cases in the last 20 years of significant coronaviruses being created from bats infecting people. So that is why Wuhan was doing bat coronavirus research.
Right. And and this actually sounds familiar to me, so I'll just agree with that. Okay. But what's that cart before the horse thing? As far as the actual event, the pandemic that we experienced, my understanding is that there was already a lab there. And so, I don't know that. I have no way of confirming or disaffirming that. because, like I said, everything has gotten spun out of so out of control. It's really hard to
Wait, hold on.
research stuff
I'm a
anymore.
little bit confused about your
Supreme,
question. What you
I
said?
do have a question.
Hold on, let me
I do have a question on why. Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
just
sorry,
let me
go ahead.
address his point real quick. Were you? I want to make sure I understand your point. Are you trying to say you weren't sure that they were studying back from the viruses before the? Just
Oh.
restate your position, please. I was just a little confused about what you meant.
All right. I'm distracting myself. Hold on for a second. I got to turn down the television. I had a bunch of Buddhist monks painting and shit, and I was like, I can't do this. I don't have it. I got one signal saying shut your brain off. Let the peace run over. And I got another signal saying you gotta fucking think, dude. Okay,
Right.
it's mixed message. Okay, so you're asking me to re-clarify my position on something? Is that
Yes,
what you
you
asked
said
me?
something about not sure if the lab existed or not. I wasn't sure what you meant by that.
No. What I'm saying is, yeah. Okay. So yes, my answer to that very specific question is yes. I don't know that for a fact. However, I do believe that's a fact. My abilities to research stuff has been so hampered by all of the noise that goes around anymore that it's really hard for me to dig it out.
Yeah, I guess my point of confusion is the actual lab itself has been around since 1956, and we know that they've been
Right.
researching back-family viruses since before the pandemic. I mean, that's not really contested. That's pretty open knowledge.
Right. That's knowledge that exists, and that Fauci was actually there is not conspiratorial in its own nature because he was the head of the CDC, and that would have been part of his job to tour different facilities throughout the world to
This
verify.
is why we need privatized, peer-reviewed studies. We need privatized
So I do want
to get to the bottom of this.
to let Will go because he's had his hand up for a while, and since he got kicked off.
Sure. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're good. No, you're good. I'm just trying to moderate efficiently.
Get after.
Hi, thank you. Sorry about that. That was bizarre. I kind of want to preface that with another bizarre thing. Not that this means anything, but when the Anderson paper first came out from Scripps Institute, it was the first paper that then is defining the natural origins theory. I noticed that their citation 19 was off, and I was in a Facebook group discussing that paper with geneticists. I go to scientists, and a bunch of things happened to where my account then was like shut down, and I just had a parallel thing happen to that. I haven't really talked about this. I don't jump into this topic. I've stopped talking about it for like 3 years because of the strange things that were happening to my accounts. But when I just tried to give you guys that information, my mic completely got uninstalled, and I had to jump off and reinstall all this stuff. So, but anyway,
political scrutiny, maybe. I mean,
it's just a weird coincidence. It hasn't really happened to me. It only happens when I start talking about this stuff and I start hammering on the lines of thought. Everybody's refutation so far that I heard was answered. The thing to defeat Li Meng Yan's arguments, you have to read both of her papers. Then you guys are doing a good job. You have to read her refutations. Then there's about 4 or 5 papers. I gave some references. You can find all of her stuff.
Okay, wait. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with her arguments? Because we can just examine the arguments now. Yeah. Like, I don't know how productive it would be for like this for us to sit in silence and read like 5 papers. So
they didn't address her second paper.
Wait, but hold on, real quick, Will.
Hold on.
Yeah, Will
I just want to say that if you want, what we can do, and I'm willing to do this, is just summarize the main points so we can deal with it more digestibly. But if you want to, you can come back next week, and then we can try to go through the papers and go into it knowing what they say.
Perfect. That's cool. Much respect. Absolutely. I'll make it brief. And actually, I think that's a better thing. Maybe I can state some things and everybody can go research and we can come back and then have a discussion and see what we find.
No, but Will, for someone like me,
I'm going to say the
knowledge of. Okay, got you. But I don't know virology, so if I were to read these papers, it would be completely gibberish to me because I haven't researched biology.
Then I don't know what I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we'll explain it to you.
Yeah, that's fine. You good? Yeah.
Okay, so the first refutation then is that the peer reviews against her from MIT and the other one, they were not requested, and she refuted them line by line, and they did not address her second paper. So in terms of scientific arguments, there was never a refutation towards her second paper. Besides that, her later papers are going through each thing, which are kind of embedded into both, but you've already stepped on and you're already finding pieces of the refutations. And so the next step from there is to find her refutations to those and see how they sit. There's not much else I need to say. You've already uncovered the trains of thought. You're already seeing her arguments. I would like to clarify, they were saying the whole time that there was no scientific theory for this. And then when they finally admitted that there was maybe a potential, they always went, it's either an accidental lab release or obviously natural origins.
So-
and they stopped us from thinking of like, oh, there's a scientific hypothesis for a unrestricted bioweapons theory. I'm almost done. Just give me 20 more seconds. I promise I'll be done. And so then, you know, that's the hard part for me, is that she is proposing a scientific hypothesis. Her second arguments and her second paper weren't addressed by the scientific community. This was kind of buried into this false dichotomy between accidental release and the natural origins release. For my full argument, I would say then the natural argument also doesn't have any evidence yet. I'm not saying she's right.
I would definitely contest that. That's very wrong.
I'm saying that there's hypotheses here that need to be explored on both realms, and there's no definitive conclusion yet, and that's why Homeland Security, CIA, nobody could reach a conclusion. They wouldn't let us in to see the things. They were shut down, and all this stuff.
Okay, so
anyway, that's my whole thing. I
okay,
think we
so
should,
I'm not trying to be rude. In a nice way I can say I'm a little disappointed because I asked you to give like a specific evidence piece, like line by line. Or, you don't have to give it like a bunch, or maybe like
I
one
did.
that we
I
can
said
digest.
this in her second paper. I didn't
But
want
you
to.
So
didn't.
you
but
gotta
you
say
didn't-
what
you
she
didn't give
said.
a
E
specific-
protein.
Yeah.
E protein, 100% identical. The E protein is 100% identical. Just because I could list a bunch, but you might as well just read the second paper.
Well, I don't need
I
you-
could do this all day.
With
Okay,
the
but I don't want to
E-protein.
waste
all
all
your
your
time,
time
though. The
Can you give us one thing? Give one, two things that we can look up.
I could give you 5.
Just do one. Let's go one by one. We don't need to.
Yeah, let's do it like that.
So the
Hold on. But
E-protein. So the
Correct.
E-protein
That's a big
similarity.
one. That's a big one.
Yeah. So what's the claim exactly?
That it's 100% identical to the genomes that she's describing.
Okay.
No,
So
but
the claim is that there's a sequence in the COVID genome that codes for a protein, and that there's an identical sequence that's like part of a weapons bio warfare department or something.
The strains that she's arguing, I think I want to hear your guys steel man her arguments before I get into this. I want to give everybody a week to actually research her claims. No, I mean, I'll go through
why don't we just
this
like
is
go
fine.
have the argument? Why do we need to do all the song and dance and like
Song and
dance around the
dance.
argument?
There's
But
no
Will,
dancing. You just
real
need to be
quick.
informed. This
But
is
Will, I have a
boring.
question. I
You're
have a
not
question that
informed,
will.
and I have to educate you then, and that's what we're getting
Will,
to. You might as well
real
just
quick,
read her argument.
Hold on, guys. No, we're not going to do this. It's not going to descend into chaos. Me and Eddie and all of us are more than happy to respond to anything, but you got to go one at a time. Give us a concrete thing, like, for example, this E-protein topic, and we can approach it one by one. We can't have chaos. We got to be specific. Okay, unmute.
No, I was gonna ask an engaging question because obviously I'm not like detailed in what they're saying, but this will engage in what they're saying.
Hang on, I gave one already. We don't need to dance around this like I'm not doing what I'm claiming.
Well, you gave the claim, and now we need to evaluate it.
Correct.
You know?
Go
Yeah.
ahead and do that. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Let me ask one question.
so-
What is the definitive
Evaluate
marker
it, please.
to tell of a manufactured genome versus an organically forming genome? What is the methodology in that? That is my question. How do we know that that's the methodology in it? That
If
would be
you
the
read your
philosophical
paper-
question that would go against
Yeah.
you guys both.
Wait, have you read the paper? Have you read the paper, Wills?
I've read all of them.
So you should be able to just
Fine.
explain it like concisely.
I did.
The methodology. I'm curious in the methodology. Yeah.
So
Oh,
what
guys,
it is, she's showing how quick and easy it is. She's giving a 6-month window on how easy it is to produce this in a lab. She's walking you through the genetic trees, and even though it wouldn't be like the whole, there's another one that's 96%, that's irrelevant. These backbones are still there. How did that happen?
How's that irrelevant?
Only the because the CCP has these. How did that get in there?
Okay, that's an
Hold on,
important claim because we have to establish that these CCP genome sequences actually exist. Is
Correct.
there like is there somewhere we can access these?
I would
Yes,
like to.
the Gen Bank.
Hold on, I just want to interject real quick. Did you realize the RATG13? This is the one that has 96% same, and it has hold on. This has the exact same E proteins as COVID-19.
They inserted that into the Gen Bank. That's what our research says.
Okay, is that proven though? Like, because you're basically saying that there's a conspiracy of scientists to put a fake genome into like the genetic database.
Well, there'd be
for worldwide research,
like conspiracy hypothesis and a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy hypothesis then would be a hypothesis that has a conspiracy behind it. What I claim though is that I don't know, and I claim neither side knows, and I could tell you how they don't have the evidence the other way either. So I don't know how I'm not being scientific by saying
no, you're being.
That claims a scientific theory, and it is a scientific hypothesis. There's the E protein. There's another 5 things I could list off that make it scientific.
I mean, the E protein supreme addressed that.
Hold on, I'm not trying to be rude, but we can't all talk over each other. You brought out the E protein, but I pointed out the RATG13, which is closer in genomic sequence to COVID-19. It's 96% similar. It also has the same 100% same E protein, so that argument doesn't really add up. I mean, I just don't see how that follows.
There's a plausible, naturalistic, non-engineering explanation.
I just told you it was in there. I don't understand what's going on here. I just said that they added it into the Gen Bank. They fabricated it. That's what.
Okay, yeah. You got to prove that? Like that's your burden to show.
Yeah, I just gave you the papers. Read them, please.
No, okay. How did the paper prove that there was fraudulence and deception involved?
You're making me do your homework. I'll come back in a week.
No. Okay, so this is how it works. Like, if you were to ask me about something,
but you're not giving me room to talk, and you keep muting me. I already did. I'm doing what you're saying, and then you're not accepting my.
No, you're just saying go look at the paper, but that doesn't answer the question.
Go look at the paper, and
I mean, you kind of did.
In the sense of, if you want more information, if you're saying that I have to give it.
Well, I don't want more information. I want you to present the case that
what else do you want to know?
No, I want you to actually show that there was this fabrication, fraudulence involved. Like, I want you to actually demonstrate that. Saying, "Oh, the paper does it." Well, if that's the case, then explain how the paper does it.
The Batwoman inserted it into the Gen Bank on January.
The Batwoman.
Yeah, that's what her name is at the Wuhan lab. Her nickname. If you were following this at any fucking level.
Okay, so the claim is that this person fabricated a genomic sequence.
Yeah, what scientist is the
from whole cloth, and then inserted. there are other samples around the world of people who also sequenced the COVID virus, right?
So Li Mengyan is just making all this up. That's your claim. She's not a scientist.
Did I say that?
She's just fabricating this.
Did I say that?
What are you saying?
Wait, sorry. Did I say that? Can you answer my question? Did I say that?
That's where this information is coming from.
Wait. Did I say that Li Mengyan is just lying about everything? Did I ever say that?
Is she?
Did I say that though? Because you just accused me of saying that. You just accused me of saying that.
You're implying
how? I'm saying she's wrong. I'm saying she's wrong. You can be wrong without being fraudulent and lying. You know that, right?
How is she wrong?
Because you're right now. You're kind of just derailing the conversation by getting upset.
That's why she's wrong.
Well, it gives me evidence. It gives me evidence that at least the case is not good. But
you don't make any sense. You're not being logical, man.
Okay, so let's get back on track. So what's the evidence that so you're saying that the other related COVID virus that's 96%, that genetic sequence was fabricated?
Correct.
Okay, and the evidence for this.
They inserted it into the Gen Bank, and they have the historical record where it wasn't in there, and then they showed
they inserted it into the Gen Bank, but that's a normal thing you do. You sequence a genome and then you put it in the Gen Bank. That's a normal thing, right?
No. This was at January the 8th, after the incident. So the timeline's important here about how all this happened.
Wait, how does that show that that's fraudulence?
Really?
Yeah. Go ahead and articulate it so we can all understand.
So supposedly this has been found. Do you understand the history of this gene? So I'm talking to people that are supposedly educated and they're coming at me hard, but do you understand this rat TG13 claim? When was it found? Let me ask you that. Let me give you some litmus tests.
I don't know.
before
I don't know
continue
this
with
shit off the top of
It
my
was
head.
found in
Then
Why does it
2013.
matter?
It was
man.
the original
Arrogant.
RATG
No, it's not
13
really an
was found
argument.
in 2013.
Okay, thank you for establishing that. So that fact was changed in the GenBank. What the timeline of when this is found is what the issue is, according to Li Mengyan, not me. It's in her papers. But that is the fraudulent part. Again, it's not coming from me. I'm just trying to repeat supposedly the scientific hypothesis, which I don't even believe in. I'm trying to be reasonable here and say there is a hypothesis. I went through this. I know scientists. I know.
Well, no one
statisticians.
denies that. No one denies that there's the hypothesis of a
Yeah.
bioweapon.
Great. Then we're on the same page.
Okay, so you don't even believe this. You don't believe it was a bioweapon.
I
Well,
believe there's a possibility. I believe we don't have firm evidence either way, and that it is.
Well, we don't have
clear that-
conclusive evidence. We do have firm
See,
evidence
here's how
for
science-
zoonosis.
You guys probably know how science works, and like when you have something new, and there's a bunch of hypotheses. Before that becomes the leading theory, you have to have all the predictive elements and you have to have the models good to compare them so that you get to the leading theory. We're at the stage where we just have a bunch of hypotheses for the origin of this. That's what I would say. We don't have no leading theory.
Well, I don't know if that's exactly true
That's fine.
because we do have most of the evidence does show a
No.
zoonotic origins. Yeah, it
There's
does.
no evidence. They didn't find it. They don't have any.
Oh,
evidence.
that's false. Okay, so are you denying that there was
Scripps
proximity
Institute
analysis? Do you
Proximity
deny that there's a proximity analysis of the earliest cases in Wuhan? Do you deny that there's data on that?
Do you deny that they shut the lab down?
Do
when
you
they
deny
first
that
all
there's
happened
data
and,
on the
like,
proximal analysis of like the earliest COVID cases? Yes or no?
the proximity origin study is wrong? I can tell you.
No,
that.
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, do you deny that scientists, they were able to determine like the geolocations of the earliest known COVID cases and were able to map that out in like a map of the city of Wuhan? Do you deny this?
I don't know how I think about that because there's a lot of claims that it happened.
Okay, well they
September
did.
before.
They did that. And you know
I mean,
where? Do you know where?
that's what you
Do you know where the earliest? No, that's published in journals.
I mean,
That
no,
was
I'm saying
published.
I understand your side. I understand
Yeah,
that they know.
yeah.
I understand that they know that, but I don't
Okay.
think that that's
So
the
okay,
truth.
so how is it not evidence that the
I
earliest
understand
cases?
what you think.
How is it not evidence that all the earliest cases were clustered around the wet market rather than the virology institute?
Because there was earlier arguments that it was from people that were even in November that were connected to the lab that had this, and it wasn't this bit that they're trying.
Okay,
to do.
so is there actual evidence for these claims?
Yes.
So where has it been published that there were these people in November 2019?
I'll point it. Put it in the pill. Hang on.
did you know that they actually took cotton swabs of a stall in the Wuhan market and they found animal DNA mixed with COVID? That seems like an awfully strong piece of evidence for the natural origin. And apparently SARS-CoV-1 had the same E protein sequence too. Yeah. So did WIV1 in 2013, SHCO14 2014. So there's at least a couple of other variants that had the same E protein before the pandemic, which seems to give credence to it possibly being or originally naturally. I'm gonna let Amanda jump in here real quick. So Amanda, what do you think? Can you guys talk or just awkward silence or?
I can talk.
Okay, I just I thought maybe it glitched. I wasn't sure. I know still got a little bit heated. Um, Amanda, can you talk? Is your mic working? I don't know. I'm thinking the most productive way to do this with Will in the fairest way possible is to just carry it over to next week, maybe, or maybe we can set up a Tuesday debate. Maybe just I think maybe we could try to. Oh, someone just popped in.
Yeah, and I apologize. I didn't mean to be disrespectful or anything. I did try to be scientific and factual, and so. But I agree. I think the best thing is to come. I'd love to come back and after everybody reviewed everything, be shown how it's wrong. And I love nothing more than to be proved wrong when I'm obviously just mistaken. So
Sure, yeah.
but this is a great group. Thanks for holding this space.
Oh yeah, I mean you're fine. I mean this is what we do every week. I love the artist, so you're in the right place, man. No hard feelings. I'm really glad you came.
Sweet. Thanks.
So does anybody else?
Oh wait,
have a
yeah.
quick-
So I am reading something that's interesting. That's about this claim of fabricated sequences. So we have Emma Hodcroft, a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Basel and co-developer of the next strain project that studies evolution of pathogens, including SARS-CoV-2, pointed out that, quote, most of the samples that Yan's group say are fake predate the start of the pandemic. Hodcroft also explained, this accusation implies there were years of coordination in fake sequence generating. This is an incredible claim and would require significant evidence burden to back it up, which is missing from the paper. So that's kind of wild that the sequences she says, most of the sequences that she's saying are fake. They predated the pandemic. So did they predict the future? Were they clairvoyant? They saw COVID was happening and were able to fudge the numbers before it happened.
So
That doesn't make any sense.
I actually found. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I actually read something different. That one of them, specifically, oh dang, I can't remember the exact.
Well, it wasn't all of them that predated the. It wasn't all of them that predated the pandemic. It was most of them. So I'm sure she didn't. There were some that were included that were post pandemic.
Yeah,
but most of them.
Yeah, the RHCG13. But there were SARS viruses like SARS-CoV-1 that had an identical E protein, though.
Yeah.
Hey, happy Monday. How are y'all doing?
Oh, we're just in the middle of a.
Yo, pretty good.
Debate. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm really tired if I'm being candid. But
Well, I
it's
woke up
good.
from a nap before this, so I feel yeah.
Oh, nice. I took a couple naps today. I took a nap during my lunch. But I think I didn't go to bed as early as I would have liked yesterday. But granted, I did sleep a lot. I think I took a nap on Saturday and then I slept in on Sunday. But I think it was just me catching up with my sleep debt. So.
Awesome.
on.
I need to keep working on my sleep hygiene.
I would like to introduce you all to the great poet himself, Loco Leon. He's in my men's group on Sundays. He's the best, the cream of the crop.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So,
Are you guys in a Bible study or what is
oh,
it?
well,
Sorry to interrupt.
it's a men's group where we, based on Carl Jung shadow work. It's pretty cool. I invite all of you guys here to come. I know it's helped me a lot. I think Leon will vouch for it, Infinity will vouch for it. Those guys have been there too. So Eddie, if you or Will want to go on Sundays, I think you guys would like it. But yeah, what do you think, Leon?
I just heard this was a good place to get laid.
That's very interesting. But yeah,
Just a bunch of
does Amanda or Loco Leon have any takes on the COVID origins?
I've heard a lot of thoughts. I've kind of left it there.
So you're kind of just agnostic, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think some things are more plausible than others. But
Yeah.
for me, like until I know something more definitive, I'm fine kind of not putting a lot of energy thinking about what the answer is. Not in like a rude way, but just like for me, it's like until I have a fuller picture, I'm kind of okay not thinking about it. Though I guess like one thought I do have is Fauci's interview was super sketchy.
What do you mean? Is his interview?
Well, you know, like when he went before Congress. I
Oh,
thought
like
that
the
was,
deposition?
yeah, I thought that was super sketchy.
Was it the fact that he like pled the fifth or whatever?
Yeah, it was like, what day of the week it is, or what day of the week is it? I call upon the Fifth Amendment, and it was just like,
Well, you know why? Do you know what's his rationale for doing that?
was because that way when he felt like he was like making himself look guilty, like you couldn't tell which one was which. Like you're being a little bit more hidden, and you're not necessarily showing your cards if you're just calling it all the time. But like, I still think it was really sketchy, especially because he was pardoned by Biden.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine like you're in a position where you're like asked to give your scientific advice to a government, and then the government kind of just like turns on you. Let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that he didn't do anything wrong, even though I get that's like what's in contention. So let's just assume he didn't do anything wrong, and the government's like coming after you, and there's like these government members who are just like harping on you, calling for your arrest, even calling for your execution. And if you're like in a congressional setting where it's like literally illegal to lie, wouldn't it be smart for you to just like not answer any of their questions, because anything you will say will be used against you?
If you did the right thing, isn't it better just to be straightforward about what you did and
No,
why?
not necessarily, because like even if you did the right thing, like if there are like political interests who have a vested interest in like punishing you, then they will take anything you say and they will spin it as much as they can. So it's just safer not to say anything at all.
Yeah,
Unless you want, it's just unnecessarily risky.
My opinion is I think it's a pretty bad look, but I also think if you watch the deposition, I don't think they were being very fair. It's obviously there's less of finding the truth and more of working backwards from their conclusion. So I'm not saying he handled it perfectly, but he was up against some pretty nasty guys.
Yeah, I just think optically it wasn't a great look.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and also, I like had never really dived into his involvement with HIV/AIDS. So I had someone explain it to me, like right after the deposition, and it seems like his approach to AIDS was really similar to his approach for COVID, which was like overly cautious.
Overly cautious? What do you mean?
Like with AIDS, because there were like two main ways in which HIV/AIDS like spread like back in the day. One was through
Sex, right?
physically intimate activities, and then the other one was through like blood transfusions.
Yeah.
And I guess there's this story of this little kid who got it through a blood transfusion, and then he was basically like isolated and treated as like a pariah at his school and in life, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and like, you know, that's when they were like telling people like, oh, you can't even share a toilet with someone who's done this, and it was like a high level of distance from people, kind of similar to COVID.
Well, that was that. I don't think that's really the same because that was more of like a societal stigma thing, where it was like if you had AIDS, it meant you were part of a group society shuns, like gay people or like drug injectors.
Well, not the blood infusion people.
Well, yeah, not them, but there was
And
still
like
like
also not someone who was like born to a mom who had it.
Huh?
Like, because I think someone could get it as a baby.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like in general, there was like way more of a societal stigma where like having AIDS was a marker of being of like a quote unquote undesirable group. Whereas it's not really true
Yeah,
with COVID. Like the separation was to like control the spread, to slow things down, so that it wouldn't just like kill a bunch of people, even though it did
yeah, but
anyways.
my understanding is with AIDS, some of it was for the spreading factor.
Well, I don't really know that much about the history of that, but yeah, because it used to be called like gay-related autoimmune deficiency. Like when they first, unless I'm wrong, like when they first identified it, they like clearly like identified it with a certain group of people, i.e., gay people. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you would necessarily need to like shut down the economy because like some gay people got infected because they're not like a majority or a large proportion of the population.
Yeah, I just think it sounds like it was like highly stigmatized and almost overcorrection, kind of like COVID, like, you know, with the masks, like, and the 6 feet of distance. Like, I think that was like an overcorrection.
Well, those are pretty like standard like pandemic containment procedures. They're like very like easy things to implement that are relatively trivial but have like a pretty good effect on like controlling things and not letting things like
Yeah, I
spread
guess,
out of control
yeah.
so much. Even though it was like kind of weird, you know.
I guess for me, I think that was an overcorrection.
I don't know. I mean, I think honestly, if anything, we probably didn't do enough. Because like I don't know, like what's interesting is that at the beginning of the pandemic there were these projections about like how many people would die if we did X, Y, and Z. Um and we started to like diverge from those when we kind of just thought that the pandemic was over before it actually was. Or maybe not in the United States, but it's definitely happened in like India where they like opened up prematurely and then there's a second wave that just like was devastating.
I don't know. I just think it was an overcorrection. At least many parts of it were overcorrection. So,
Well, better safe than sorry, you know.
not necessarily, because then like people had like mental health issues from the isolation. Like, I'll be really candid with you. I loved it because I was still able to interact with people virtually. However, I had more control over my schedule. And I was like, oh, I personally still feel socialized because I can interact this way. However, not everyone feels like they have the connection in the same way. So there are people who had like really severe mental health issues. And then we also have all the issues with the people who were, you know, K through 12 students at that time, especially middle and high school students. They're so like emotionally disaffected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely rough, but like that's it. It was a tough situation because you basically had to trade off between like all these like psychosocial stress. Is the trade off between like if you have more people who have the psychosocial stress from isolation, you like reduce the death count. But if you care more about like freedom, then it goes the other way where it's like people will be less psychosocially stressed, but there'll be more deaths. So at the end of the day, it's sort of like, what do you value more, like human lives, or
But I think it would have been negligible amounts of death.
what do you mean?
Like, I don't think they're like, I understand like that there's been statements about a fear of more deaths from COVID, though
If we don't do
I'm not
preventative
convinced.
measures,
Yeah,
well, I
I'm
mean,
not
it's
convinced.
kind of just basic logic. Like, if you do like actions to prevent the spread of a virus, then just logically less people will be infected, which means there's less opportunities for people to die. Is there like something wrong in that chain?
I think that there's a strong argument for that being overstated.
So what would be that strong argument?
No, I'm just saying, based off of everything I've heard and learned, I think that there's a strong argument for that being an overstatement.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious, like, what specifically did you hear and learn that would be the strong argument against what I'm saying?
Okay. I know I'm going to punt this answer for you again. I forgot that you're like St. Thomas, where you're really curious and you like a lot of data.
That's fair.
I'm
I
so
mean,
sorry.
yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, if you just say like you don't have it, like that's totally fine. Like that's not a
I'm
big
just, I mean,
deal.
I'm just really tired.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like I've heard it. I don't have it in front of me. And it's
yeah.
just like my is
No, yeah. And obviously,
that is
you're
it.
not like obligated to do whatever.
Yeah, I don't mean that. Yeah, I didn't mean the
Yeah.
St. Thomas thing in a derogatory way.
I-
It's just as you were asking questions, I was like, aha, I forgot that you're like St. Thomas, where you like a lot of information.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, what if like you were trying to get me to like present an argument, and I just said what you said? Like, wouldn't you feel that that's sort of like not convincing?
I don't need a pen, but like if you just told me,
Like, what if I made a controversial claim that you disagree with, and you're asking me to like actually show it's true, and I'm kind of just like, well, it's just like what I learned. You know, that's you can see how that doesn't really like. That's not
well,
really
I'm
like
not telling
supportive.
you it's just what I learned. I'm sharing with you right now. That's the extent of what I can give based off of my capacity.
Yeah.
Like if you told me, give me a sec.
Just like to say real quick while she's doing what she's doing, I appreciate all you guys for coming. Me and Eddie thought for a second that we only get people that we talked about religion.